When I was invited to speak here, my first reaction was, no, I cannot do this, never. My second reaction was, so why me? I am an ordinary teacher. I don't have any big achievements or grand titles, so why me? I have always doubted myself. Am I good enough? Am I in my right place? Can I do this? Am I worthy? Doubts have been my companion since youth, because at the age of 21, I became a refugee with a child in my arms. My whole former life just ceased to exist within one day. When your home collapses, your confidence in yourself, your sense of stability disappears. And with that, your faith in yourself dies out. I lived with the painful question, who am I now without my previous life? What can I do now? My greatest support throughout all the hardships of my life was my family, my loved ones. They formed me and they taught me the most valuable thing in life is education and knowledge. And nobody can take that away from you. So, after a while, as soon as the life stabilized a bit, I decided to go back to university and finish my higher education. But now I was a woman with 2 children, and I was sitting in a group of 16, 17-year-old girls and boys just starting their life, and my inner voice sometimes whispered to me, Nino, what are you doing here? But I knew that I had to go on. I could not let myself down. So I worked twice as hard. I got 1 degree, then another degree, then bunch of certificates, diplomas, and so on, some awards, and then I decided to slow down and simply started doing what I knew how to do, teaching, then researching, then searching for new materials, working on new methodology, then developing my own style of teaching, finding my voice in my profession. After a couple of years, I was invited to participate in a huge humanitarian project to deliver the lessons of Georgian language online on YouTube. And guess what my first reaction was? Of course, no, I cannot do that. My second reaction was, why me? There are hundreds of wonderful, experienced teachers who know how to work with camera, and I cannot. The organizer, and by the way, my former student, insisted, in this project I see only you, because I know you at work. So again and again I told to myself, if someone believes in you, you cannot let these people down. So I pulled myself together and we launched. And it started and it took off. Hundreds of thousands of likes, shares, and online views. Huge feedback. And very strange, unexpected things started happening in my life. People I had never met in my life started sending me so heartwarming letters that I cried. I cried every night. They started sending me bouquets of flowers. They started sharing their life stories with me, writing that I am their Georgian mother, and, and that every evening they come home from work, they turn off TV and switch to Georgian lessons and study with me. It was very touching, of course. One couple arrived from another country on purpose to meet me in person. They took me to a posh restaurant, which I had mentioned in episode, say, 44. At minute, say, 25. And after a while, they asked me to be their bridesmaid at the wedding. And now we are practically a family. People I had never met in my life started sending me homework. And I replied. I gave feedback because I could not let them down. They were counting on me. My husband, just teases me. All your stories start with the same phrase. Once one of my students, or what happened today at school, and he is right, it's true. I have collected hundreds of similar and wonderful stories about my students, and I will share some of them with you. School, grade 7, one boy was transferred from another class to my group, and I was warned. He sabotages Georgian, and he is very harsh in his remarks. So, at the very first lesson, he said, sullen and silent. I asked his name, and he answered a bit rudely. Go on and read. It's in the list. You have it. And I'm reading. Pedya. With Georgian soft P, this name, believe me, sounds very weird. That was why I realized that I had to do something immediately. I would now have another chance to change the situation. And my reaction was immediate. May I call you Tedo in my class? He froze. What was that? Tedo is a Georgian version of your name. And I like how it sounds because it reminds me, cute teddy bear. He said nothing, but definitely something changed in his eyes. At the next lesson, my cute little teddy bear was sitting in the front row, working brilliantly and smiling. Yeah. Such victories feel incredible. Scientists say that artificial intelligence will soon replace all the teachers. Nothing can replace an inspiring teacher. Artificial intelligence won't feel the panic in the eyes of an adult student. I had a case. In one of my groups, there was a young woman who started studying the language so eagerly, enthusiastically, full of energy, and all of a sudden, a total withdrawal. Her gaze went dim. She was sad. She started skipping lessons and dictation on purpose. And panic seized me. I'm losing a student just in front of my eyes. I failed to engage her. So after one lesson, I came up to her and gently asked, "How can I help you?" And she confessed. For her, it was totally impossible to remember new alphabets, new symbols. And that was why she could not read, she could not write in Georgian, and she was ready to give up. And my reaction was, oh my dear, screw the letters, just forget them. Our goal is communication, not perfect reading or writing. So use transcription, use Latin. You can use Japanese kanji if you would like. What's the problem? She was in shock. Is that allowed? Really? Am I allowed to do that? Of course. In your notebook, you are the queen. Go on and write as you wish. I will never forget how she blossomed with joy. And at that very moment, I felt wings on my back. This is what true motivation does to a teacher, does to a student, to everyone. Once, students from my wonderful group told me such a phrase which stuck to my mind. Nino, you don't teach us just language, just structures, grammar, just conjugations. You teach us how to love Georgian language. So, and you are sincere and you are so passionate that we feel it and we can't help falling in love with the Georgian language. I have always doubted myself. But that little conversation changed something. I understood something important about myself. My strength is not in the number of students. My strength is not in the number of diplomas, certificates, and the number of views on online shares and likes. My strength is in the ability to connect people, to give a spark, to create safe atmosphere where my students relax and are not afraid of making mistakes. In such moments, I remember the apple tree from my childhood. It grew in the very middle of our yard. And once neighbors came up to my legendary wise grandmother asking for advice, what can we do with this apple tree because it had grown too large? And my grandmother's reply was very short and indisputable. Chop off only one branch. Why destroy the whole tree? That's it. As for me, teaching is the same. I remember one talk where I spoke about Georgian language, alphabet, phonetics, about long-standing models of Georgian cultural behavior and many other things. And there was a question from the audience. Where does this overwhelming Georgian hospitality come from? Sometimes exaggerated and incomprehensible to us. I answered with a tale. We Georgians do believe that each of us is given one unique chance in our life to meet God on our path. No one can know how he will look like. And the only thing we know that he will appear in our life as a guest, as unexpected guest. And he will test us for our hospitality, love, sincerity. That is why in my groups, all my students are guests. And I want them to feel Georgia, both in words and in their hearts. I do believe that the world changes for better and people grow wings when one person truly sees another one and says very simple and honest words. I see you. I believe in you. You can do everything. Thank you.